Good morning. This is Rosemary DeTrolio, and this is the Lightwalker's Path podcast. And I'm your host and your guide to all things spiritual and otherwise. This is a place to have enlightened conversations and for me to talk to inspiring guests like today's guest, Andrew Spirit. So, welcome, Andrew. How are you?
Thank you, Rosemary. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm excited to have you here. So, Andrew, you are a psychic medium, motivational speaker. You help heal and empower others. You also provide group and private readings and spirit Reiki. I'm also a Reiki master teacher, so that touched my heart. You do mentoring and spiritual coaching and meditation, and I've seen that you have a lot of interesting things posted. You connect with people's deceased loved ones, and you are called a medium for that reason. So let's just chat about what that is, because there's lots of misconceptions. I know when people book me, I'm an angel communicator, so they'll say, "Can you talk to my dead relatives?" I'm like, "No, that's a medium," and they don't always know the difference between, let's say, my service and yours. So, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have that you'd like to clear up about what a medium actually does?
I'd say the biggest that I often come across is people having difficulty differentiating between a psychic and a medium.
Okay.
So basically, the only difference is with psychics, they interpret energies directly from you, the client.
Right. Hmm.
So it's basically one to one. I'm looking at you, I'm reading your aura, your energy, and I'm getting information directly from your energy. Now, as
Hmm.
soon as I start receiving any kind of information from a third party, for example, a spirit guide, an angel, a deceased loved one,
Hmm.
could even be a pet, then it
Hmm.
becomes, it shifts from psychic to mediumship. So the only difference is mediumship is I'm receiving the information from an external third party source, not you, not me, someone or something else. That's the only difference between psychic and mediumship. So I do
Yeah.
both. Uh,
Yes.
all mediums are psychics, but not all psychics necessarily practice mediumship. That's the
That,
main.
that's true. It's interesting because the other thing is that like when I'm doing a reading for someone, I don't read future because I think everything's not set in stone and it's all based on vibration, energy, and where you're sitting right now and like your choice. So the angels guide me never to interfere with free will. So sometimes people will say, "Can I find out if I should?" And it's like, no, that's not what I do. So I know you're the same way where you're reading like what comes in, not necessarily what the person wants, but what they might need, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh, Occasionally, I do receive a little bit of info about what's coming up ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like to advise that often it's fluid. Often I receive something that is on your trajectory, on your path, so that you potentially have the opportunity to either make a slight deviation or a change in direction, to either
Yes.
soften the blow of something difficult that may be coming
Yes.
up, or to
Yes.
maybe need to get off onto a different track. So some things, yes, there are a few things set in stone, but there's a lot of fluidity as well. So when
Mm-hmm.
I'm given information, it's usually for a good reason to help you either divert or make a bit of a change or deviation.
Correct. Yeah, and I do understand that. And I've seen that happen too with the readings I've done, is that if there's a certain way that they're going that's harmful to them or can make a decision more troublesome, there's guidance that will come in to say, this is free will, but you can do this or that, but it's your choice. But it always comes back to like honoring their will with this information and always for highest good, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If a person comes to you and let's say they say, "I only want to talk to grandma," and grandma doesn't come in, that's okay. How do you deal with a client that is very stubbornly fixed on, "I only want to talk to this person"? What do you tell them to prepare them that that might not happen?
So what I usually say is, uh, I know your heart's set on hearing from so and so, but sometimes you'll get someone else. Doesn't mean that your grandmother or your preferred person will never come through. It just means Spirit is deciding for you what you need most for your highest good in this moment now.
Hmm.
So you don't always get what you want, but you always get what your higher self needs the most.
Yes, just like
And
that song. Yes.
yeah, for the most part, I find people are understanding of it. Even if they're disappointed, they do understand it. And I do reiterate that it doesn't mean they won't come again next time, whether it's through me or someone else. just you get what you need in the moment.
I love that. You know, it's interesting. I also know on a soul level, there's some souls that are come through very quickly. My father had extremely bright, strong soul. So he was giving me messages from the moment he passed until like a whole year after. My mom, on the other hand, it took her like 5 or 6 years before I started getting dreams of her and information from her. And, you know, I don't do that for my business at all, but it came through for me with my parents. And I knew that would be the case because my father had such a strong soul. We had such a strong connection. So there's that kind of feeling where some souls are louder than others too. Some souls come in with more energy. So that's, you know, that's what I've learned through doing the things I do.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh, there's one thing I'd like to just add to that as well. Sometimes if a soul is coming through and they haven't been the kindest or nicest person to someone
Hmm.
receiving the message, it can be a little bit like pulling teeth because they come through that they're treading on eggshells. They're so cautious and kind of shy and feeling a little
Hmm.
awkward because they realize the hardship that they brought onto a particular person, and they're trying to come through to help the other with forgiveness, letting go.
Yes.
So they tend to be a little bit shy and giving me the clues to validate how they're connected because the person may not want to hear from them at all.
Yes.
So
Yes.
those can be a little bit harder, but you know, it's always for the soul's highest and best good.
I love that. You
Yeah.
know, I had an experience. I was doing Reiki on a client, and her husband had committed suicide, and it was really sad. And he, of course, shows up in the room, and like I don't do mediumship, but occasionally a spirit will come in and start telling me things, and he's yelling, saying, "Tell my wife I'm sorry. Tell her," and he's yelling at me to give her this message. I'm like, "Oh my gosh," you know, because he felt distraught after realizing what he had done and the damage he had caused. But at that point, you know, I had to very carefully tread because she was so sensitive and I felt terrible. It's like, I listen, I don't want to tell you this. I don't want to give you this message, but this spirit will not leave me alone. I have to just tell you this and take it for what you can. And, you know, we'll just pray for him to be released properly. But yeah, sometimes weird stuff happens when you're working with energy and clients. So you do Reiki also, or I know you mentioned Spirit Reiki. So tell me about that for you.
So yeah, I use the term either spirit Reiki or intuitive Reiki. So I have my Reiki level 3.
Mm-hmm.
And when I took Reiki, I was doing it for self-healing. It helped
Yes.
me to heal myself. Prior to that, I learned a technique called hands-on healing. It's a form of
Hmm.
energy healing.
Hmm.
And afterwards, I shifted to what I call hands-off. I no longer needed to place
Yes.
my hands on the body. I just worked within the auric field, a few inches
Yes.
from the skin.
Yeah.
And once I'd done Reiki, I thought I was going to do all 4 levels, and I did 1, 2, and 3. And then all of a sudden, I just felt and realized I never had the desire to teach it. I'm not meant to teach and certify others. I did it
Yes.
for self-healing.
Yes.
Since I have it now, I can just use that word when I promote myself so that people at least are a little bit more
I understand.
receptive. I find people are more open to the word Reiki.
Now they are. Yes.
So I combined Reiki with my original style that I learned, and I called it intuitive Reiki or spirit Reiki because I
Yes.
don't go exactly by the book. I go
Right.
intuitively as the guides, the healing guides use me as a tool.
Yes. I love that.
So it's similar, but I don't do it exactly by the book. So yeah,
Yes. I love that. It's, you know, it's interesting because I teach all levels of it, and I've taught a lot of master teachers as well through the years. And one of the things they tell you, and the way I teach it is the first level is traditional, you know, very Japanese, like this is where your hands go, this is what you do. And after
yeah,
that, and I know this is like it in Japan, when you are ready for second level, you have to have intuitive understanding and some psychic abilities already forming, which they do. And then you
yeah,
just start working intuitively. So I'm told to like use a crystal on their heart center, even though it's not Reiki, I do it. Or sweeping and clearing the energy field when you feel gunk, you know?
yeah.
So it becomes really intuitive. And I know from the people I've trained and myself, it really jumpstarts your intuitive and psychic abilities because you're clearing all this old karmic junk that you've carried through years. So that's super cool and I love it. All
Yep.
right. Okay. When you connect with spirit, I know that you, like me, you're very claircognizant, which means instant knowing, and that's one of my strong suits. Clairvoyance with me developed much later, but you are a clairvoyant. So when you experience spirit, like what's your experiences? Do you like see them in your mind's eye? Do you see them in front of you? Like, what do you experience when a spirit comes in for you?
So everything I get, if I use the word visually, is in my mind's eye, not in front of me. So my physical eyes don't detect it. My inner or third eye sees everything similar to what my physical eyes would. So it's
Okay.
like looking at a movie clip inside my mind or remembering a scene or an image. So they will show me symbols, scenes, vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll get a view of their more or less their facial features. Sometimes
Yeah.
their whole body, tall, thin, old, young, light
Yeah.
hair, dark hair. Each one's different depending on how strong the signal is of their energy.
Mm-hmm.
But visually, everything is inner seeing, and then the clear cognizance is the information just
Yeah.
arrives in the mind. I'm not sure exactly who or what deposited there, but it's just there, and I just
It's
say it or
there.
share it.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so interesting to talk to somebody who has the same thing that I do, because it's like you come to the answer and you can't tell someone like, I just know it because I know it. They're like, well, what's the proof? Like, you don't need the proof. It's right there. You just know it, and it always bears out true. But it's really hard to explain to like someone that's very left brain and doesn't get like who you are. And it could be frustrating, I know, you know. Uh,
Sometimes I use the analogy that I'm the telephone line or the telephone wire. So I'm
yes.
just the conduit or the tool. I'm
Yes.
not the brains or the
Yes.
in universal intelligence. I'm just the wire channeling the
Yes.
information. So you can't,
Yes.
it's just I do my job and I
That's
just
it.
deliver. I'm the delivery guy.
You're
That's
the
it.
delivery guy. I love that. It's so cool. When I before I started channeling, I was getting constant dreams. And this is way, way back of me like tuning a radio. And when I was actually, it was a symbol for me of tuning up the frequency so that I was at a high enough frequency to, so the angels can like come down and kind of meet me in the middle. And
Yeah.
I was getting those dreams for a while, and then finally, when I was like tuned, then I was able to channel very easily. But it's like that clearing that has to happen so that you're in sync with them. So I love
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
universal signal.
They slow themselves down and we have to
They do.
raise our vibration just to kind of find a middle ground.
Yes, yes. And I know that you're a meditator, so I'm sure that's probably had a big part of how you can connect with spirits so well. So tell me about
Yes.
that.
So I like to tell people if I was not able to meditate, I would really struggle to do what I do. Meditation is one of the most helpful, useful, powerful tools to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation is when you clear the debris, the energetic uh, debris you pick up from your people, day-to-day surroundings. Meditation brings you present.
Mm-hmm.
As human beings, we tend to either spend a lot of time projecting to the future or reliving the past, and we need to
True.
avoid that and just be present.
Yes.
Meditation for me is the number one tool to help you just be present. And you can meditate 100 different ways. There's no set rule.
Yeah.
So I like to teach people how to meditate, the benefits of it, and how to connect with your higher self, with everything that is, with spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Anyone can learn to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like training, whether you train a psychic muscle or a physical muscle at the gym, same
Mm-hmm.
principle. The more you do it, the better you get. When you slack off, you get a bit rusty.
Yeah.
But super valuable. Absolutely.
Yes. I think that's why I started channeling because I was trying to meditate and instead, I got an angel behind me. And I was basically told, like, put your hands on the keyboard. We're here for you, you know? And yeah, it's something. But I know for me, like I'll do walking meditation because, I'm very energetic. So I will go in my garden and sit or I'll take a walk and then breathe because the forest and earth really helps me to be clear. And of course, salt baths, Epsom salt baths, those are great. Clears out the energy.
Interesting you mentioned how you meditate and you received an angel by without expecting it. When I first joined the meditation circle, my only intention was to learn how to meditate so I could keep my mind quiet and be peaceful. And
Yeah.
I got a lot more than I bargained for. So meditation was the doorway and opened up spirit. I wasn't looking for it.
Yes. It's
That's
really
how,
strange. That's how spirit works. It's like if you have a blueprint and you came in here to be a healer, a guide, you cannot sit on your laurels before they come in and they'll shift you, whether it be a traumatic event, whether it be an illness, there's something that like kicks you in the butt and like this is your path. And that's basically when I got my first reading, I was like, this is your free will. but this is your path and you can accept it or not. And I just said, make it really obvious because I have to know, I'm not going to go running for it. You make it obvious to me. And they did.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they find you. They will find you.
Yes. You can't hide. You can't hide.
Oh,
The other thing I find is that many times, many of us that are in the healing realm, we go through tragic or difficult life paths. And I always say, God trusts me way too much because of all the junk that I've had to carry and clear through the years. But I really do believe that it deepens compassion, it deepens
yep.
understanding, and it opens you up to other people's journeys. And I know that's the purpose, even though it really annoys me sometimes. I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 100%. If we haven't lived through difficulties, how would we be able to kind of teach and guide others? It's almost like it's like a prerequisite
Yes.
to understand others and to have, like you said, compassion. And yeah, there's
Like a crash
no
course.
greater teacher than experience itself.
School of hard knocks, I like to say, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Did you have any of these kind of awarenesses when you were young? I mean, I always knew stuff when I was younger, like that claircognizance. People would always come to me for advice, even really young. So I'm imagining there's something that bubbled up with you when you were very young that you've now like opened as an adult. Is that true? Did you have any kind
In
of?
my case, I can't say that I was, from what I recall, I can't say that I was aware when I was young. All I knew was when I was in school, and especially high school, I was a very sensitive kid in relation to all the others. I was way more sensitive and different.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't understand why. So I think because I was a male going through,
Oh, it's hard.
school and developing ego, I must have shut it down and blocked it off so harshly that I don't remember a thing. To me, I was not kind of normal as a kid growing up, and got into the workforce, and did the whole marriage work and career thing, and I'd only started waking up again around when I was 35 years old. That's when I joined my first meditation circle. So I
Oh,
had suppressed it so much. As far as I was concerned, it's like I'd never had it. I was raised very Catholic as well. So
yeah.
I wasn't aware. I must have just
Right.
shoved it down so deeply and just forgot about it.
Yeah. It's interesting how like I was raised Roman Catholic and thank God, my father was very intuitive, so I understood the power of intuition and how even though it didn't make linear sense, you can be very intuitive and from the gut, and that's where the information, you tap into it easier that way. My mother was, a very strong little Italian woman, very strong personality, not like dad, so I kind of had this dichotomy growing up, but I kind of always knew stuff, but I would never talk about it. Like my sister just found out probably maybe 15 years ago that I just always knew stuff. Like I never talked about it because I figured, well, no one wants to know that. That's just me. And
Yeah.
it took a while for me to kind of step fully in. Again, I was a school teacher. I did that for years, and I kept the two worlds quite separate for myself. So what kind of job were you doing before you went into your mediumship? What was your career path?
So I had a mixture of all kinds of jobs because I was never ever able to find a career job that I enjoyed. I was just kind of
Yeah.
fumbling along. So I started off doing insurance claims. I was very
Oh,
clerical, desk job. I did insurance claims. I tried real estate for a year. I tried other
yeah.
sales jobs. I was a little bit of did a little bit of construction labor work.
Hmm.
I tried a whole bunch of things and could never ever find satisfaction long enough. I just
Yeah,
couldn't fit with any of the mainstream, no matter how mainstream I tried to be.
because that
Uh,
wasn't you.
it wasn't me. So I went through experiencing a whole bunch of things that was not me at all.
Yes.
And I think
I
I had
guess,
to do that. I think it's part of
yes.
the
It's
journey.
part of it. And I think when you find out who's not you, you have to figure out who is you, and that's
Yes.
where you give
Yeah.
yourself permission to like walk into the world that someone that doesn't know you may judge, but who cares? I
Yeah.
just figured when they finally said to me, go out and do an angel class, I was still a full-time teacher. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm going to go talk about angels to people. And they
Yeah.
said, well, you don't have to, but that is your true path. So I booked myself in. I had 20 people and I did a workshop and like, oh my God, that fills my heart. And I just knew it's another form of teaching, but I'm teaching about angels.
Yeah, yeah,
So it really it filled me. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what are some signs that loved ones give that you have found for people when they come to you and say, okay, this or that? What are some of the signs that you know that spirit is near, or that someone would come to you and say, is this my relative visiting?
Yep. So one of the by far the most popular signs that clients of mine have reported to me is the dimes or feathers.
I get both. Yeah.
And I said, and it sounds just perfect because how many of us use small change in today's times? How many of us walk around with bags of coins? Nobody uses coins to buy anything.
Oh,
So
that's true.
dimes ending up all over your home,
Yeah.
it's got to be spirit. As for feathers, our homes, especially during the colder months, we have screens on the windows. How do
Right.
feathers get inside of a house?
I know. Isn't that?
You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's unusual. So it makes sense that dimes and feathers are not typical and normal. We don't have hens and chickens in the yard. We don't have a lot of feathers. We don't work with
Yeah.
feathers and coins. So those by far are the most common. Um, the rare extreme would be lights flicking on and off,
Mm-hmm.
devices acting a little strangely, radios
Mm-hmm.
going on. Those are rare, but they do happen.
Yes.
And then even either blue jays or cardinals coming, staring at the person through the window or coming a lot closer than a bird normally would to a human
Yes.
and just staring at them in the eye and not moving. Those are
Yes.
the most popular that I've come to learn of from clients.
I love that. I have a feather story for you that happened to me in New York City. So I was going to a seminar and I had said to the angels, just protect me, guide me, bring me to the right people. So I was on the fourth floor of a building and I had to use the lavatory. So I went in to use the bathroom. I'm sitting there with my pants down on my knees. And all of a sudden, on the fourth floor of a building, a white feather comes down right in front of me. And I'm looking at it and I put my hand out. And I knew that was them. But I'm like, wow, they do have a sense of humor. Here I am in
Yeah,
the bathroom on the fourth floor of a building and I'm getting a white feather. But
yeah.
I've had weird stuff, like you're saying, with the coins, with the feathers, with the animals coming out of the woods, like crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
I
But
mean, how would that feather arrive on the fourth floor in the washroom? Like, what are the odds,
New York City, when there's not when it wasn't there when I walked in.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay. Um, okay. I know you also have a book called Simply Spirit. So if someone wants to find that book, how can they locate it?
So they can either find it on Amazon
Mm-hmm.
or other, I think Barnes and Noble, Balboa website as well. I
Uh-huh.
published it through Balboa Press.
Yes.
There's also a link on my website
Okay.
where you can the link directs you to the Balboa site, but it's also on I believe the US and the Canadian Amazon sites.
Okay.
And I also have copies with me in Brockville. I live in Brockville, Eastern Ontario, so I always keep a box of copies with me. I bring them to the psychic fairs I attend,
That's cool.
where people can purchase them from. It's
Mhm.
called Simply Spirit. There are two books with the same title online.
Okay.
So mine is the one that has a picture. The front cover is of a beach and some blue sky. It was taken in Cuba, and it's got my name on the front. It says Andrew. My last name is actually Vanderpeet, my real name, Andrew Vanderpeet.
Okay.
Because the other one is, I think it's
Not
some,
yours. The other
not
one isn't
mine. Yeah,
yours.
not mine. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's called Simply Spirit by Andrew Vanderpeet. Yeah.
Okay. And so is it about your journey being a medium? Is that kind of the focus of that book?
It's partly so how it came to be was in my very early years of taking spiritual development classes and opening up, I would start journaling. I would just
Mm-hmm.
journal.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to commute from to Toronto on the GO train. So I would channel questions to Source. I would ask Source
Do that.
questions or God, and I would write down the answers I got. So the book is basically a stretch of journaling on and off over roughly a 6-year period of just my personal, how my consciousness started evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is channeled material from Source.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Q&A section at the back with about 30 questions and answers that I got from Source. The
Love
rest
that.
is a journey of my consciousness, how it was from the early years, how it evolved.
Nice.
And
Like a guidebook, right? Like your
it's one of those
guidebook.
books. you can start at the back, the middle. You can just open it up on any chapter. You don't have to read it
Yes.
linearly like a storybook.
Yes.
And I've had a lot of fantastic feedback from it. And
Oh.
it's a simple read,
Hmm.
uh, but it's got a lot of, like I said, profound, interesting
Wisdom.
information, partly from me, partly from source. Yeah.
Yes. That's wonderful. Yeah, it sounds very similar. My first book, Divine Messengers, it started out as Angel Voices 1111, and then I republished it with less chapters. But again, it was journaling, it was channeling, it was asking spirit questions, it was my journey, it was Reiki, it was angels, it was like the evolution of how a normal person, a normal person can just like transform by free will and by whatever your path and purpose is. So it's really similar to that. That's cool.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Let's see. What is what is your greatest joy? Where does it come from? What do you do when you want to do something when you're not working? What things do you do that inspire you, fill you, or clear you?
Okay. When you started asking, I thought, oh, I'm going to share about how I give messages and things like that. But you said
Oh, you
not
can.
working.
You can do that. Go ahead. That's good.
So,
Yeah,
I don't, so what I do, I don't call it work. It's not really work because it's a
right.
love job. I love what I do. So
Me too.
I'd say if I had to narrow it down to maybe two things is when I'm sharing a message or reading with someone and they happen to just get a huge sigh of relief or closure or just they just lighten up and it just shifts their energy.
I love that.
Those are one of the most precious moments for me.
Okay. Yes.
That and spending time with my closest tribe, my loved ones. I am very much a people person. I love in person. I
Mm-hmm.
love connecting. So when I'm with my chosen ones, my tribe, my loved ones, I am often at my happiest.
That's beautiful. Yes, yes.
Does
I,
it
I
take
I am
much?
too. Yes. Love that. Love that. What month were you born?
February.
February. So it's Aquarius?
Yes, I was early February. I'm Aquarius. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. One of my very close friend of mine's Aquarius. We have these very deep conversations like that because she gets me, we get each other. So yeah, I love that as well. And I love being outside. I love when I'm with my son or my grandkids. It's awesome.
Actually, you remind, yes, that's the third one, being outdoors. I'm originally from South Africa, so I love sunshine. I'm solar powered. I love being outside.
Oh, I do too. Do you garden or anything?
I don't, but even
Yeah.
just um, trimming the lawn,
Yeah,
sitting in a kayak, being at the river,
love
anything
that.
outside, love it. Yeah.
Yes, me too. Me too. I see you have a picture behind you. Is that a Native American woman or man or somebody?
It's a Native American woman with a blanket. Yeah. It was gifted to me by one of my closest friends.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Native Indian painting. Yeah.
I love it. I have a very well, I know I had a past life as a Native American, but I've been
Okay.
very busy. I've been lots of different things, but I've had weird experiences. I was working at the state park one year when I was off from school, and there was an eagle's nest above, and I asked the eagle to send me something. And again, the feather drops, and I got a small eagle feather. And I've been at a lot of powwows where I've been gifted things like turkey feathers, bear claw. Someone a native person said, "Come over, I see spirit," and I got a beautiful angel with wings, but it was a Native American little thing with wings on it, and so I've had really cool experiences with that culture. I think it's fascinating. One of these days, I'll get out to
Yeah.
the Midwest because I think it's really cool. Okay. Um, is there a person in your life that you feel really influenced you in a positive way the most? Or there's probably many, but is there one that comes to mind that person helped me shift or be the person you are now?
Yes, I would have to say that was my first mentor, the
Mhm.
one who invited me to join a meditation circle. She got me into teaching spiritual development. She formed a spiritual foundation. I don't like to use the word church, but it was a brick and mortar foundation. And
Right.
there they taught classes, they
Love
taught
that.
meditation. So she's the reason I do what I do today.
That's beautiful. I know that, there's people in our path that are always there at the right juncture when you're ready, like when the student is ready, the teacher appears kind of thing. And
Mhm.
those people are shifters for us. And then while we shift, there's someone right behind us that we help. So
Exactly. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way that works. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share about how people can contact you or anything that you want to bring up that I didn't mention for you?
Okay, so in terms of reaching me, I'm predominantly, I spend a lot of time promoting on Facebook.
Hmm.
So my Facebook page is called Medium Blessings dash Andrew Spirit.
Love that. Okay.
Find me there. I also have a website, which is also mediumblessings.weebly.com. Or
Okay.
if you don't remember, just Google Medium Blessings. I'm on the Google search, so you can find me there too.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram. Um, but Facebook is an easy way to contact me, also via the web.
Okay.
Let's see. My cell number, if you like, is 289-980-5065. Some people like the old-fashioned phone call, which I love too. So you're welcome to call me or text me. And I
Okay.
typically respond to people within about 24 hours or less.
So you're in Canada. So if someone from the US wants to contact you, are you on WhatsApp also?
Yes, I actually am on WhatsApp.
Yeah, because I think if someone's in the US and they want to get you that like and they're calling Canada, so
Yes.
WhatsApp would be the way that they would get you at that same number, right?
Same number. They can reach me on WhatsApp as well. Yes.
Perfect.
Welcome to
Perfect.
do that.
Okay. Well, I do encourage people to reach out to you and see what you do and explore your books, which is really neat. Okay. So I think that is it. I really enjoyed speaking to you today, and I hope that when this airs, you'll send it around and people will find you and they'll find me and it'll be all good. So this has been the Lightwalker's Path. Everyone, please subscribe. You can also contact me for workshops, mentoring, sessions, and books that I have on Amazon. Blessings and have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you very much.
Okay.